Okay, so if you guys have been with us the past few weeks, we've been in this series called Prism. This is actually the last week. I'm going into Easter, but basically you want to explain what Prism is, what the sermon series is.
Yeah. So Prism, if you've ever seen a little prism, it goes into the light and then it shows like a little cute little rainbow or whatever, like a little ornament. But it's pretty much just showing how there's so many sides to the Easter story, and just in each of us that you wouldn't know just off first glance. So like last week when we were chatting about the crucifixion, we learned some crazy things about the crucifixion and about the little Passion of the Christ movie. Todd gave us a little fun fact about the little Passion movie. If you were here last week, I don't know, it was the little guy. So anyway, there's a movie called The Passion, and it's about the crucifixion. And the guy who was he was Jesus in the movie, got struck by lightning. Twice? Once? Twice. Twice. Who gets struck by lightning ever, and then he gets struck twice? That just feels like, that's a lot. So yeah, anyways, or we also learned about the cat of nine tails, which I think is pretty interesting, pretty snazzy. It's not as sad, but I just thought it was an interesting little fact. So anyways, so that's pretty much what Prism's been. We're just learning more about the Easter story, and there's just more to all of us than meets the eye.
Yep. Yeah, and tonight our topic is about how, we left the next up here. No, I'm not going to leave them. Thank you. Yep. But basically how we're never alone because Jesus is always with us. So, the example that we have for today is just, how many of you had to take out the trash when you were a kid, or still have to take out the trash? Still. Okay, so that's some of our choice, but, so when I used to take out the trash, it was usually at nighttime. And I still do take out the trash, but it's kind of been handed over to Judah and my dad. But and I would be taking it out, and it would be nighttime, and I was like looking around, and I was like, I feel like someone's here right now. So I'd just be kind of calling out into the darkness. I'd be like, I see you, and kind of scare them off and stuff. And then I would walk to the trash can real slow, and then open it up, put it in, and then that's when I felt like the person that was watching me was now going to come run at me. So I just dashed to the door as fast as I could. You should have tracked that. I literally could have been in the NFL Combine after that.
Yeah, totally.
Like a 4-flat 40 yards. And so but it would be completely different if I had someone next to me. If me and my friend were just walking to the trash, I'm like, hey, yeah, come take the trash out with me. And then I'd be like, oh yeah, you scared? Yeah, scaredy cat. That's what I thought. Hoping no one had footage of me the night before. When I was freaking out. But, and that's just the power of presence, meaning that's the power of having someone next to you. You just don't get scared as easily, and I know that you guys all have probably a situation like that. I know Maddie had lots of irrational fears when she was a little kid.
Oh, so little.
When you're in the pool, you thought that they were
a
shark.
I'm like a shark's
gonna die. But it was.
If I went into the water for too long, I was like a shark's gonna come out.
Right.
I'm gonna die. It's just
and it worsened when you're by yourself, right?
Yeah. Listen. I was not in that pool myself for very long because I knew the second Ross got out, the shark was coming for me. I knew he was.
And that's
once I even imagined that it got my foot, and so I started freaking out, acting like he got me. It was it's scary. Yeah, it's literally a 3-foot pool. It would really be larger than the pool. Yeah. Question.
Where were your parents when you?
That's a great question. Who raised these children?
It's like the first time she's hearing it.
No, honestly.
But the point of that is we all have times when we're lonely and when we go through hard times, and when we go through hard times, it can be a lot harder when we're alone. So Maddie actually has a story she wants to tell about being lonely. Or a time that you were lonely. What's one time that you were lonely in your life?
He didn't ask me. Yesterday we were going to the sermon. He said, talk about a time you were lonely. I said, it's been the bottle of my life. Just pick a side. I'll have a story for any point in my life. Loneliness. That's supposed to be funny, guys. I promise I'm completely fine. I told him, I said, really, any time pre me and Sophia being little besties, I said I didn't really have that many friends growing up.
You don't know Sophia.
So Sophie's a little bestie. She currently, I want to put the video of her wisdom teeth removal.
We should have had a picture.
I want to put it up so bad, but I don't embarrass her. But she got her wisdom teeth taken out, so she's actually at home right now, puffy cheeks. Poor little gal. neo-mime. Anyways, yeah, pretty much any time before, so like middle school, high school, I really didn't have that many friends. Or if I did have friends, they weren't like great friends, so I was just kind of coasting through life. But me and Sophia became friends, like my senior year of high school, but we became like really, really close. We started college together and we go to the same college, so we became like real best friends. And yeah, ever since then, I feel like I haven't been as lonely because I have a little bestie.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're going to be talking about tonight. Is that going through tough times can feel lonely. Oh, I think I messed this up. Hold up. Oh,
My
no.
little cursor's going.
Is it up here? Wait, let me find this really quick. I'm so sorry.
That's cool.
Well, it's a beautiful background. Pick your favorite color. What's your favorite color on this? I
don't
personally
think-
like
I don't
the.
think it's going to happen right now.
I like this color. Personally, that's
Yeah.
called fuchsia.
But basically, what we're going to talk about
I bet you'll feel lonely right now.
this is bad. Right? There we go.
All right. Wait.
Screen mirror.
Oh, so speaking of fuchsia.
There we go. So
Yay.
tonight, what we're talking about, our story from the Bible, is from John 6. Okay, so this is kind of out of context when you first read this, but basically what is happening right now is Jesus just fed 5,000 people. So if you don't know that story, he just fed 5,000 people with 2 loaves of bread and 5 fish.
No.
Oh, 5? Okay, yeah, obviously I didn't pay attention in Sunday school. I'm so sorry.
Dude, I was
She was my
agreeing.
Sunday school
I think
teacher.
Miss Sunday School's here.
I'm sorry.
I can never remember.
Dude, I was agreeing with you. So.
Yeah, what does that say?
I was confused too. I never remember.
But basically, he just did that, and then his disciples went over on a boat to the other side of the Sea of Galilee, which is what they were right next to. And then Jesus didn't go with them, but then he walked on water, which was crazy because he's Jesus. And he went on to the other side. And now it's the next day, and there's a bunch of people coming after him, looking for more of that bread that they got from him. So they were asking him, "Can you please give us bread?" And he said, he always talked in parables, which are like stories that mean something deeper than what he's saying. And he was saying, "I am the bread of life." And they didn't understand what that meant. They're like, "No, we want real bread." So, but then he kept telling them, he was like, "No, I am the bread. When you have me, that's all you need." So basically, that's what's happening right now. And then, on hearing this, many of his disciples, which are the people that were following him looking for real bread, said, "This is hard teaching. Who can accept it?" Because they wanted just the things from Jesus. They didn't want Jesus himself. So where his disciples were grumbling about this, Jesus said to them, "Does this offend you? Then what if you see the Son of Man ascend to where he was before? The Spirit gives life, the flesh counts for nothing. The words I have spoken to you, they are full of the Spirit and life. Yet there are some of you who do not believe." For Jesus had known from the beginning which of them did not believe and who would betray him. He went on to say, "This is why I told you that no one can come to me unless the Father has enabled them." From this time, many of his disciples turned back and no longer followed him. So this is what this is the main verse of tonight, that even Jesus had lonely times where people turned back and stopped following him. And I mean, this is not just a few people. This was, like I said, 5,000 people was how much he fed. And I don't know how many of those came to talk to him, but it was a lot. So, and then he turned back to his disciples, which it's called the 12, which are just the 12 people that he chose that were really close to him. And these guys, I mean, they were pretty messed up, but it's the people that Jesus chose, just like we're messed up, but Jesus chose us. And he said, "You don't want to leave too, do you?" Jesus asked the 12. Simon Peter, which is kind of like the gangster disciple, answered him, "Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life." Then Jesus replied, "Have I not chosen you, the 12? Yet one of you is a devil."
Whoa.
And then John,
We thought this part was
yeah, we
so
thought
funny.
this was funny because this is John, one of his disciples, is the one that wrote this. And this next verse, he says, he meant Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, who he just wanted to make sure you guys knew it wasn't him.
I was the devil. It was Judas. So you all are clear. I was the devil. It was Judas. I thought this was so funny. You guys busted
Judas,
them
the son
out.
of Simon Iscariot, who through one of the 12 was later. Yeah.
Can you imagine like in those, like have you ever, I don't know if you guys ever seen Lizzie McGuire? Anyone?
I have.
Lizzie McGuire, they would like pause scenes and the little cartoon would walk up and be like, so to explain what just happened, blah, blah, blah. And I imagine John being like, pause on Jesus and pointing a little big arrow to Jesus and like, or to Judas, like, yeah, he was the devil, not me. Continue on. Play.
Because if you guys don't know, Judas is the disciple that ended up betraying Jesus and turning him in to the people that could end up killing him. So, and that would have happened around this week, Easter week. So it was pretty crazy.
Like today?
Huh?
Like today?
Yeah, like today almost.
Today was the day.
That is crazy.
Or Judas
Well,
kissed
when
him
he
on the
made his
cheek.
deal.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
He got ticked off because that lady washed his feet with the oil or with the
Anointing oil.
and he said that is such a waste,
Yeah.
and he took off.
Yeah. Wow. That is,
Sorry, I didn't mean
look
to
at all. No, that was
interrupt
good.
you.
That all just
No,
all
that's-
goes together. Look at that.
And that's crazy.
They didn't plan
That's
it.
all, yeah, that's wild. So it says, why does Jesus call us to love people if they will let us down and leave? So Jesus still loved these people that left. He was compassionate for them even though they were leaving. So the question that we're asking tonight is, as Christians, which is just people that follow Jesus, why is it important that we love people if they're just going to hurt us and let us down and leave? So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So the verses that we have to answer this, because the Bible is basically Jesus' love note to us, or God's love note to us, and it's just He explains all these things, including this, why we need to love people. And the reason is because we love because He first loved us, and that's just such a simple verse. What that's talking about is how Jesus died for us and how even He created us, and He just loves us so much. And the reason that we love is because He loves us even though we don't deserve it. And this is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down His life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers and sisters. So that's exactly what we're talking about tonight. So because of Jesus, you are never alone. So Jesus had times where people left Him. We don't think about Jesus feeling emotions like this, but He definitely had feelings of loneliness, hurt, and pain. We never really think of Jesus feeling pain, but He was human just like us. And even though He was perfect, He still felt the feelings we feel. You know, we can sympathize with Him because He understands exactly what we're going through.
Like in the Bible, it says that He was all man and all God, so He felt all the things that we feel. So I think a lot of times we can just be like, well, He was God, so it means that He didn't go through the same things we do. But this story just proves that, like, just like how we all, as people, leave our lives or hurt us or whatever, Jesus has gone through all of that and so much worse. Like, He literally, like, why we celebrate Easter is because He died and rose again for us, and He was betrayed by one of His best friends. And I think a lot of times we don't think about that part. When we're going through hard times, or when we have a friend who's betrayed us, we don't think like, oh, Jesus went through this, like, so He knows how I feel, you know? But I think this story just shows, and all of Easter just shows how much He loves us and how much He wants to sit with us when we're in pain, because He knows exactly how that feels. And He wasn't alone, because He had God, and then He also had His other disciples, and He had His friends too that helped Him through these tough times. So that's why we can also call on Him and then the people that are around us as well.
Exactly. Yeah, that's really good. So yeah, because of Jesus, we're never alone, just like Patty was saying. And Jesus will always love you. So He's the one that you can always rely on Him, because He's never going to stop loving you. And even when we're all sinners, and when you hear the word sinners, that's not like condemning you or anything. What that's saying is just that we all carry sin, we've all done wrong things. I mean, every single one of us has done a wrong thing. I mean, even if you told a lie, like raise your hand if you guys have told a lie before. And if you didn't raise your hand, you're a liar right now. So so even though we carry that sin and we're not perfect, Jesus was perfect, and because He made that sacrifice for us, now we're completely forgiven. So you never have to worry about that. And while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. So even when we were going against Him, like there's a verse about Jesus being on the cross, and He's looking down at the people that just put Him on the cross, and He says, Lord, forgive them, for they don't know what they do. He's forgiving people even while they're killing Him.
Literally stabbing Him in the side.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I just think all the gory, like, stuff about the crucifixion is so interesting. like literally just reading the guy who just stabbed him in the side.
Right.
Like literally, it's just insane. I don't know. It's just, the whole story is just crazy.
It's wild. So, yeah, when we go through trouble, Jesus gets it. He definitely went through pain too. Not just physical pain, but also pain with people leaving him, pain with, like, even the mental strain of knowing that he's going to go on the cross.
He literally sweat blood.
Yeah.
He was so stressed out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's wild. So Jesus definitely gets what you're going through. And then we move on to another time when Jesus was going through trouble. He was talking with his disciples who are now, like, they've been with him for a while, and they've seen him do miracles and stuff. And he says this to them. He says, "A time is coming, and in fact has come, when you will be scattered, each of you to your own home. You will leave me all alone. Yet I am not alone, for my Father is with me." So what Jesus is saying, that these people that were with him, and he said, "Will you leave me?" And they said, "No, you have eternal life." Like when Peter said that. That same Peter, when Jesus was being crucified, he left him and acted like he didn't know him. Like people were asking him, "Do you know this guy?" And he was like, "No, I don't know him." He's like, "No, I don't know him." And then finally he like started cursing at a girl, and he's like, "No, I do not know him." When they kept asking. So Peter, and just like Peter, we also abandon people, we leave people. There's people in the world that do that to us, but Jesus still loves them. And what this important truth that we see here is that Jesus says, "I'm not alone, for my Father is with me." And Jesus was so secure in that, and we can be secure in that too. The Father is always with us, no matter what we go through, no matter what we're feeling. And he says, "I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." Yeah. Jesus is saying we can have peace, and that's something that we're all looking for. We're all looking for peace, especially in this age, this generation. I mean, anxiety is running rampant. Suicide is like crazy right now. Everyone's looking for peace, and what Jesus is saying is that in me you may have peace. So, just what's so important about this is staying in the in me and not in this world. Because for so many of us, in this world is so real to us. We're like my everyday struggles, like we're in it, you know, like we're in this trouble, focusing on the trouble. What if we took our eyes off of that? Not saying that's not important. It is. It's what you're going through is real. But then looking to Jesus and knowing that in him we may have peace, even when we're in the world. It doesn't say we're not going to be in the world. It says in this world you will have trouble, but take heart because he has overcome the world. So even while we're in this world, we can have peace because we know that Jesus went through the same things we went through, and we can have peace in him.
Yeah, I think something that's so beautiful about going through hard times when you do have a relationship with Jesus and when you are leaning on him, the times that are like the worst in your life are going to be the times that you're leaning on God the most. That's probably the times that you're going to have the most beautiful moments with God. Like I know for me, whenever I've gone, anytime I have a really, really difficult time of life, I have the most like beautiful, intimate moments with Jesus that I would not have had if I wasn't going through like a rough time. If I wasn't going through a rough patch, I would never have had that night in my car where I just cried for 2 hours and prayed and listened to worship music. Like I wouldn't have had that if I wasn't going through a hard time. So that's just the thing that I think is beautiful about Jesus, is that he does bring you peace and he is your peace, even in like the most awful times, you know.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, he not only gets how you feel, but he can help you. So many times we get it that Jesus is with us, but what does that mean? Why is it important that he's with us? You know, like, I mean, just to be honest, if Jesus is with us, what does that matter unless he's actually doing something? You know, like sometimes we think that, but the important thing is that he's not only with us so that we're not scared when we're walking to that trash can in that example, but he's also helping us, you know. Yeah, or swimming with the pool. He's not only with us in those times so that we don't have fear, but he's also actively giving us peace. You know, he can help us, and we also get peace from knowing that he loves us, even when we feel like no one else does. Even though we may feel lonely, because of Jesus, we can trust that we're never alone. So we're going to go through a few ways that will help us with loneliness, if you guys are feeling loneliness, or if you have, or if you will. This is to prepare you guys. So number one is to talk to Jesus about your troubles.
He cares, he knows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, just talk to Jesus, you know?
Yeah.
Talk to the one who understands, just like we've been talking about this whole time. He understands exactly what you're going through. He's with you through all of it. Even if you don't believe in him, he's still with you through all of it because he's everywhere. And
he sees the bigger picture too.
exactly. He has a different perspective. He sees how it's going to work out for good eventually, even if it doesn't seem that way right now.
Yeah.
So that's really good.
And he can give you peace of like, in the midst of like your loneliness, he can give you peace of like, there's like, good things are coming, like, you know, like he'll be that like
Exactly.
encouragement and that peace for you when you're in like a lonely period.
Just like we said in the previous verse, in this world we'll have trouble, but he's overcome the world already.
Yeah.
You know? And the next one is talk to his people about your trouble. So if you have a specific time where you talk to someone about what you're going through, and that you can just think of. This is off the cuff.
Yeah. I mean, all the time. I talk to my mom all the time.
Yeah.
I have a little therapist. Talk to my therapist all the time. She's my little gal. Talk to you. I know. Yeah. A few people in my life that I can go to.
Yeah. So when we talk to people that know that they're confident, have their foundation in Jesus.
And Jesus, yeah, that's really important.
And it helps us because not only we know Jesus understands what we're going through, but sometimes we still need to talk to people. You know, you still need to talk to the physical people you see around you. You know that are going through stuff too, and going through things. So so talk to people, even though it's hard. That's super hard for me. I do not like at all talking to people about what I'm going through.
And I'm the opposite. I'm like, yeah, I want to hear it? Tell you all about it. Yeah. Tell me all of your stuff. I'll tell you all my no issue.
Yeah, I'll listen all day, but I don't like talking about stuff. I didn't
You're
like
great. You see, I'm better at that.
Yeah, I'm trying. Because, I mean, it really is important to be vulnerable. And sometimes that's just kind of pride holding it back, you know? Like, I don't want people thinking this about me because I'm going through this, things like that, you know? So,
Gotta balance each other out.
yeah, it's definitely something you need to let go of. And then the last one is be with others when they're hurt. So, because we know how we need people and how we need Jesus when we're hurt, God calls us to be with people. It says in the Bible, Jesus binds the wounds of the brokenhearted, and he wants us to be like him, so we need to also help in that. We need to go, like, run to the people who are brokenhearted. Like, it's crazy in history just seeing all the places, like, where there's intense sickness, all the Christians run towards that where everyone's running out of it, you know? They're running towards it to help those people, and they're like, why are you doing this? It doesn't make sense. And they're like, because Jesus loves us, so I love them, you know? And it's wild if you look at all the historical records of just Christians just following Jesus. And it's not that they're great, it's that Jesus is great. I mean, it's wild. So be with others when they hurt.
Just like we expect people to like care for us, or not expect, we're like, you know, we have our little people who are going to take care of us when we're hurt. We have to be that for people.
Exactly.
So we all need each other. That's why we're all here. So we all need this community. We all need each other.
Yeah, and just being in middle school, high school, we're all going to be in rooms where we feel like we're alone. Maybe you feel like you're the only Jesus follower in the room, or maybe you feel like you're the only, just like that you don't have any friends in the room, or whatever it is, or you feel like your friends maybe are fake at the time, or whatever. But you can know that even in that room, Jesus is with you, and you can confide in that. And he will guide you and help you find good friends and stuff, you know, just ask him to talk to Jesus, like we said.
Sometimes it takes a while, because I prayed for a good friend. I prayed for a good friend for how many years? Like 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, my whole life. I didn't really get a good friend until I was like 18.
Yeah.
So sometimes it just takes a while, but God's always got your back. He
Yeah.
always has your best intentions at heart, even if it takes time. Don't give up on God. Don't give up on your prayers. Keep praying. So he answers them. He definitely does. Maybe it's not always a yes, or it's always either yes, no, or not right now. So sometimes it's a not right now for a long while, but he's got your back. He loves you, cares about you. He wants you to have good friends.
And you know, just like you said, through those times where you maybe didn't have a great friend here,
Yeah, it's fun.
that's when some of your best moments happen, when you just cried out to Jesus.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
connected with him deeper. So that's something to think about too. So our questions for today for you guys is just imagine how every day it could be if you knew that Jesus is always with you. Imagine the things you could do, like earlier in this chapter that we're talking about, the main chapter, when Jesus was walking on water. I kind of just skipped over that like it's normal, but I mean that's wild. But when he was walking on water towards the boat the disciples were in, they were scared of him at first, and then it says when they let him in, immediately they arrived where they needed to be. And I just think that's like so beautiful that the author put that in there, that Jesus spoke to the author to put that in there, because what he's saying is that when we accept Jesus into our life, we're already where we need to be, because Jesus is going to do the rest, and he empowers us to do the rest. So really the most important part is just letting Jesus into your boat, letting Jesus into your life, acknowledging that he's with you, because he's always with you, but we just got to acknowledge it, you know,
Yeah.
and just let him into our problems, talk to him about it, talk to his people about it. So that's exactly
What was the first big question I
yeah, is this imagine how we did.
had? No, the first one that we did. Like the very, go to like the slides, go back to the slides. Say it, then I'll show you.
Yeah.
Real quick. Sorry, I started a little.
No, that's okay.
It was, yeah, why does Jesus call us
Oh,
to love people if they will let us down and leave? I want to touch on this before we go, just so we're not leaving this on a cliffhanger.
yeah.
So when me and I were talking about this yesterday, and my initial thought with this was, this seems like a very, like, sad question. Like,
Yeah.
it makes it sound like every single person in your life is always going to let you down and leave, which a lot of, we are going to all let each other down at some point. But I want to say that, why does Jesus call us to love people if they will let us down and leave? Because we were made for relationship. We were made to love people. We were made to have friends and be around people. So we can't live with the fear of people are going to let me down and they're going to leave.
Exactly.
Like you can't stay in that kind of mindset. I just want to touch on that real quick. Because what makes our lives is Jesus and then the people that we're around. So we can't live in a state of fear of, well, if I get really close to this person, they're just going to let me down, they're going to leave. Yeah, they might, but that might be the best friendship or relationship that you'll ever have. Like, that could be, so it could go either way. So you don't want to live in a state of like, they're going to hurt me. Yeah, they might, but that's the risk of loving people and having a relationship, and that's what we were made for.
Right.
So I want to touch on that real quick.
And you don't have to have fear, like we were talking about, because even if they do leave you, you still have Jesus. You know?
Yeah, you're
You still have the most
going
important
to be really
relationship.
good. People are going to leave, you're going to be fine.
And sometimes it's not just that they're leaving, and like leaving doesn't have to be a negative connotation. Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe they
definitely.
move, or maybe
Right.
they move somewhere else, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's different friends for different seasons, and sometimes your friend is just, like you may have like that one friend that you're super close to for a season, then you know you guys kind of move apart, and that's fine. That's
It happens,
fine.
yeah.
But,
And it hurts,
right.
and it's sad, but God's always got you. He knows.
Exactly.
He knows. He's gonna put the right people in your life. So I didn't want to leave this teaching without
Exactly. Yeah.
talking about that.
Oh, that's really good.
When we go in our small groups, we can ask each other that question, the last one.
Right, and just kind of how we're going to close this is just when you face trouble, know that Jesus is with you, and He'll never leave you down, leave you or let you down. So I know I can't, and I know Maddie can't imagine life without Jesus. You know, life without this best friend. Like just thinking about all the hard times that we've already been through, all the hard times we know we're going to go through, because you will go through hard times. You will have hard things that we face. That's just life. And also, you'll learn that when you become a Jesus follower, it kind of amps up, because the enemy's not trying to hunt for dead things. He's hunting for the things that are alive. You know? The things that are alive in Christ. Yeah, I heard it somewhere. But if you, when you have Jesus in you, that's when you're alive, you know, and that's when people are going to be, that's when the enemy's going to be looking out for you and trying to bring you down. So like I said, I don't know, I couldn't do life without Jesus. I definitely couldn't. It's just amazing how you'll see accepting Jesus just into your life will just completely transform you, and just spending time with Him each day, learning more about Him. So if you guys don't know Jesus, we're just going to do a prayer. We're going to talk to Him, just like we were saying, and we're just going to, you can invite Him into your life. So I'm going to ask everyone to just repeat after me as we say this, even if you already have Jesus in your life. But this is just for anyone who wants to just invite Jesus into their life if they haven't already. This is not anything weird. It's literally just asking Jesus into your life to be with you, to walk through life with you, and just admitting that we can't do it by ourselves. So, everyone just repeat after me. Dear Jesus,
Dear Jesus,
Today I'm coming to you
Today I'm coming to you
and asking you into my heart.
and asking you into my heart.
I can't do life on my own.
I can't do life on my own.
I have tried and sinned over and over again.
I have tried and sinned over and over again.
I'm sorry for my sin.
I'm sorry for my sin.
I am accepting your forgiveness.
I'm accepting your forgiveness.
You are the Lord of my life.
You are the Lord of my life.
You are my Savior.
You are my Savior.
I want to do the hard times,
I want to do the hard
the
times,
great times,
the great times,
and everything in between
and everything in between
with you.
with you.
I am following you, Lord Jesus.
I am following you, Lord Jesus.
In your name.
In your name.
Amen.
Amen.
And right now we're just going to go into small groups. And if you made that decision for the first time today to follow Jesus and to let him into your life, just let your small group leader know. And we want to celebrate that with you, because it says in the Bible that all of heaven is rejoicing right now if that was your decision for the first time. So yeah, we're just going to go into small groups, and yeah. So I'm just going to, you want to pray out?
Sure. All right, Lord God, thank you so much for this time that we had together. I pray that if this was someone's first time accepting you, Lord, that you will just give them the bravery to tell us so that we can help them walk through this life with you, Lord. Even if not yet, even if tonight's not the night for them to do that with, Lord, I just pray that you will just keep putting it on their heart, Lord. And I just thank you for who you are and everything that you've brought all of us through and what you're going to keep bringing us through. We love you and we thank you for everything that you do and everything that you are. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen.